started out with what should a dog already know before going to you for protection training? It doesn't really need to know much. I mean, we're going to start everything off from the basics, build the drives properly, making sure the dog is actually cut out for the work. So not much really. How does your online coaching work? How much is it? And do you do it for people in the UK? So the online coaching program that we offer right now is essentially the same way that we do our training in person. It's tailored on the dog's individual personality and your training goals. So pricing's online, like we tell everybody, go to the website. Stop asking for pricing on these questions. Just go to the website; they're on there. Schedule an evaluation if you want to, do in-person training. Go to the website. What made you the person you are today for dog training? For me, it was the time I spent with dogs when I was really young. I kind of grew up in a really shitty neighborhood in a kind of shitty situation, so being outside with my friends and dogs was a much better situation for me. Also, I did a lot of community service with dogs when I was younger too, so it kind of just started when I was, 13, 11, something around there, and it kind of just went from there to what it is now. Can I send you a video link so you can explain the behavior? So, quick thing for you guys. I like doing the Q&As. I like being able to help you guys with little tips here and there. But this is a business. We don't do everything for free. If you wanted these type of questions, you want individualized attention on your specific case, you have to sign up through the one-on-one program online. Don't got enough money right now? Save up, get it done, and we can start working together. How do you train a dog to stop eating things they shouldn't? Example, things on the ground outside. So this is also, this is a pretty simple fix for you. You have to correct it. You basically, if it's a puppy, redirect them onto something else. Be vigilant of what's going on. Stay off your phone, making sure your dog's actually either walking straight or engaging with you, and we're actively working with them if they're young. If it's an older dog, I don't want to be an older dog, anywhere from 8, 9 months, when they're mentally mature enough to understand what correction is, then start using some form of corrective tool to get their heads off the floor. I like a prong collar, for example. What's the best way to train a new pup on leash? Put a leash on them. Start working through your marker training with the leash on them. Have that drag leash around. Just basically make sure that they're comfortable with it. With me, with the young dogs, I have a long line on them in the beginning. That way I make sure, one, they're not going to run off. And two, they get used to that weight, the feeling of the weight and the collar on them with the leash on it. Best harness for agitation work. It's pretty simple. All the Ray Allen harnesses. I have pit bulls that always like to jump on strangers, and I live in a building. Any advice? Yeah, correct them. You should have your dogs on some form of corrective collar right now when you're walking them. And if they jump on somebody, tell them no, give them a little correction, and kind of go from there. Make sure they know that behavior is unacceptable. How do I defend myself from loose dogs? Do I run, fight, stand still? So I'm assuming this is on a walk. Usually I tell people to kind of carry something with them, whether it's a chuck it stick. There's a lady who walks in our neighborhood that literally made herself like a own wooden stick that's on like a little rope that she ties around her wrist. And that's because there's a lot of loose dogs where we're at. For me, if there's a dog running at my dogs, I'm going to down my dogs, put them in a position, and then I'm going to run at the dog and get it away from my dog so there's no damage happening to that dog. Realistically, and my dogs or anyone that's with me. So I would go and get that dog out of there, and then I would yell at their owner for being a fucking idiot. Is a dog ever too old to learn a new trick or learn to walk on leash with no pulling off leash, or pulling or off leash? No, not at all. I've trained 16-year-old dogs, 18-year-old dogs. I've actually worked with a 21-year-old dog before. They're never too old. The real problem is the people that usually handle those dogs are really set in their ways, and changing their behavior is the hard part, not the dog. So it's not really the dog, it's more the person on that part of just kind of reconditioning some of the training that they've learned over the years. So there's a lot of how do I get my dog to stop doing this type of questions on my Q&As, and the big thing for you guys to take away from this and understand is you have to learn how to correct your dog. And I don't mean by rattling a can at it, throwing fucking chains at it, or spraying it with a squirt bottle that creates environmental weirdness. I would mean correcting your dog in a way they understand by some form of leash correction, whether it's a prong collar, a slip collar, a knee collar and pairing it with what they word. So similar to how we have our verbal markers for positive, we need our verbal markers for negative as well. And it has to be directly associated with some form of physical discomfort in a way that doesn't create insecurity in your dog. So you got to figure out how to correct your dog, and the best way to do that is to find a trainer to help you train your dog. So yeah, guys, that's about it for me today. Thanks again for all the support and all the comments you guys leave on our YouTube page and just all the views. So yeah, start training.